This is the continual evolution of the East Coast beat. Some things never change. I don't know, but that was one of the things I had heard in my life. Ancient things, relics, ruins, castles, 2,000-year-old philosophy, 4,000-year-old civilizations that have have stopped existing on the face of the earth for over 100,000 years. How many of those are we now finding, in the off the coastlines of known continents? So then look at it more like, okay, well, then how much knowledge do I need to be smart? How smart do I need to be to make it in the world? Um, I myself played football, I myself wrestled. Those aren't dumb things to do, you know. I joined the military. Uh, one thing about the military, there's so much when so much is going on, it's easy for there to be confusion, a mild hum of confusion when everybody's just looking around like, okay, where do I go? What happens next? And that's what they try to get us out of. When we go in formation, we're supposed to feel secure. We know, I'm doing it right. I'm doing it by the rules. I'm doing it right. Therefore, this works. If you continue to do something over and over again and you continue to gain success and you do it right, then you build confidence in that fact that I'm doing it right. I know what I'm doing. And that's one thing that the military did for me, was it gave me the sense that I could tell myself I'm doing it right. It's like how Brad Pitt said in that movie, Fight Club, I'm smart and I'm capable. He didn't say I'm a genius and I'm a billionaire. He said I'm smart and I'm capable. That's what makes him so dangerous to society, to other people, is that he's smart and he's capable. He's not smart and uh, bound, smart and chained, smart and behind a cage. He's smart and capable. So that's what I got from that. For a little bit, I used to watch movies like that, and I would get the director's cut so I could understand. Like, certain movies came out, and I wanted to watch them a couple of times because I knew that something was being said. Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner. I've watched the director's cut, the commentary. Even when it was, I've watched commentary when it was the lead actress and the makeup artist. I think that was one movie that I watched a couple of times. Eon Flux, where I watched that because I was like, you know what? There's something being said in this movie. So when I saw it, it drew me to it. There's a lot, like, I was in the military. There are military movies that catch my attention and really get me into them. But a lot of military movies, particularly these single sniper movies, that's just not what I did. So I wouldn't even know, you know what I'm saying? But, but like, when they show the army in the middle, when they show soldiers in movies, I'm like, I can, yeah, hey, that's kind of what we do, you know what I'm saying? Drive trucks, sit on guard duty, eat MREs, smoke cigarettes in the field, that's what I remember doing, um, but like how Brad Pitt said, I'm smart and I'm capable. So, how smart do you have to be? Don't end up in a cage. Don't end up in such a situation that you can't get yourself out of, but don't be so stuck down by that thought that you don't take chances. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like just today, I saw probably a junior high school kid get on a bus with a bunch of other junior high school kids, and he had a Santa Cruz T-shirt on. And I was like, "Hey, have you ever been to Santa Cruz?" You know what I'm saying? And he said no, and I was like, "Well, I went there once." I told him about it. I told him, hey, it's pretty chill downtown. Half the university's on a redwood preserve. When I went there was a group of white Rastafarians riding 20-inch bikes with no shirts on and cut off camo pants, selling weed out of huge brown, the brown paper bags that you used to buy groceries in. They were selling weed and pipes out of that, like, and they'd come up on you, and next thing you know, there'd be like eight, nine of them just swarming around a table. Just come on down. How much do you want to spend? And I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to pass on this because, like, just it was my first time buying weed off the streets. Because normally I got weed from people I worked with or my neighbors, or you know what I'm saying. But it was my first time buying weed off the streets, and it was in Santa Cruz, California. And it was just, I mean, it went from a guy walked up to me and he's all humble, for Humboldt County. And I was like, all right. So we're talking, and he's got on some stunner shades and a cap, and he pulls it out of his Vans. And it's a little gram. And I was like, bro, you've been stepping on this. You know what I'm saying? And then like I turn around the corner and the white Rastafarians have seen the deal go down, so they come swooping up on me with big ass bags, bro. How much do you want? And I was like, oh my God. But I had a good time in Santa Cruz. I had a partner named Lou, and we worked at a coffee shop, and his girl was going up to the University of Santa Cruz, and he wanted to go check out University of San Jose in one weekend. And he's all, hey, you want to come with? And I was like, you know what, bro, hey, yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna cut some of this story out, but we end up going down this road, and I'm just tripping. I mean, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I stayed up all night. Um, and I get to the university, and I'm listening to the local station, and it's just this like acid techno at 6 o'clock in the morning. And then we went to the Hilton and got French toast, and I was like, man, like I said, that's part of life too, as an experience. Um, I was working, and I could have either lived on my own or lived with my parents. This is as an Army vet. Now, so I was living with my parents as an Army vet, working full time, going to community college 3/4 time because I was only taking like 10 units instead of 12, and then still going to the gym. And then when I got a job at one point, I was even playing in an adult soccer league on Saturdays and Sundays, and that was my life. So did I could I argue anything for or against it? Because like for the playing of the soccer, the first time I saw a couple of kids play soccer, I knew I wanted to play. Basketball, not really my thing. I'm not really that tall. I was always kind of shorter and heavier, you know what I'm saying? So, but when I saw kids play soccer, I was like, you know what? I'd like to do that. Same thing when I saw, first time I saw a ninja movie and I saw a ninja throw a sidekick and all this other stuff. I was like, that'd be cool, like maybe one day I'll make a ninja movie, you know what I'm saying? But at one point I realized, man, a lot of that looks like Taekwondo. So I went and took it I think I was 28 or 29 years old, and I was on disability for psychological reasons. And I went and signed up for a self defense Taekwondo class for Master Lee. And I went all the way up to purple belt, which is one beyond the green, but I always say green belt because so basically I earned my green belt in Taekwondo. And, and, that was one of the things I noticed as I was all, oh, like, okay, so this is a side kick, this is a roundhouse. I mean, not exactly. And then at a certain point, I started training competitive full contact kickboxing, but I never got to spar because I didn't put in enough time at the gym. And then I went to an MMA academy that had a couple professional fighters, $500, $1,000, maybe $5,000 fight, you know what I'm saying? And we had a couple of professional fighters on our team that were our coaches. And second day, hey, put on your gear, put in your mouthpiece, and 2-minute rounds. So that's how that was when it came to that. But like I said, first time I saw soccer, I wanted to play. First time I saw a ninja movie, I thought, yeah, that'd be cool to be a ninja. And then I remember at one point when I was doing community service at the library, there was this ancient and forbidden book about ninjutsu, and I read it and I thought, oh shit, I have like knowledge beyond. And did I ever use any of that? No, but did I use the idea of it? It wasn't so much like, yeah, dress like this and, use a sword like that. But it was the concept of use the shadows, use the darkness. Okay, so I went from juvenile hall to joining the army, with a juvenile record. And what can I say? Somebody must have liked my style. Somebody must have appreciated the effort I put in, because from what I heard, that wasn't really supposed to happen. But at the same time, from what I knew, that was to be. That was what was to be. That was what was willed to be. When I was in the third grade, we were reading about the United States of America, and we came upon disabled vets, and a voice in my head told me that is what I would be. So, I've carried that since the third grade, and I don't argue it because it hasn't changed since. So, how do I look at life? Well, I try to use Buddhism because I agree with the first concept of you only suffer for the things you want. So if you don't suffer for it, if you don't want to suffer for it, then you have to give up the want and desire for it. Once you can accept that fact, then you move on to the concept of the righteous way. And you're supposed to have righteous knowledge, and you're supposed to make righteous action, and you're supposed to have righteous speech and righteous conduct, and you make your money righteously, and you don't harm life for no reason, and you do all these things, and then hopefully as you continue to go through the cycle, then you'll have the right thought in your head, and you'll know the right people so you can get something done in your life, versus screaming wildly, into the phone at somebody that probably really doesn't want to hear any of that to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And this definitely isn't helping your relationship at all. So, like I said, I look at life like that. At one point, I was volunteering at the Department of Behavioral Health and they brought in a couple of vets from the VA, the local VA, and they said, "Hey, we want you to talk to this guy named Oliver." So they come in, and I was telling them, "Hey, first of all, represent represent, yourself." I was like, U.S. Army. That's all I said, and there was some Navy and some Marine Corps. And I don't think we had any, no, there was a Navy and an Air Force, but I don't think we had any Marine Corps. And I was telling him, look, you guys are stuck right now. You know what I'm saying? And they're putting you on these antipsychotic medications because you seem to have problems with your anger. But the thing is, remember, we were trained to be aggressive. We were trained to take over the situation and to dominate. We were trained to be this way. Don't forget that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then this one guy walks up and he says, "That's an actual job at the VA if you want to go down and apply for it." I was like, "No, man, because you know what? That was the best time of my life. And for me to go sit at the VA with a bunch of vets and talk about, what we did when we were in the Army, that'd be me eating cake and ice cream every day, bro." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm fucking volunteering with mentally ill homeless people that carry knives and fucking take bird baths when we've got a shower, but you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like I said, I've never been one. I enjoy comfort when it comes to me. When there's a warm breeze, when I'm sitting out at night and there's a warm breeze and I'm smoking my pipe and drinking my coffee and I enjoy comfort. But most of my life, I didn't. That was not how I did it. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, I realize, okay, well, I need to go a little bit back again because I'm still, I don't know what I can do, but I want to do something. You know what I'm saying? Um, there was a little minute when I was involved in some county council, for the Department of Behavioral Health, and we won a national award. And I tried not to take too much pride in that, but yet I told people, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up? What do you do? Or what you do? What you got going on? Well, this is what I do, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is what I did. The last 6 months. This is what we earned. This is what we, I mean, not word for word because there's HIPAA violations and all that. But I was like, this is what I do. You know, when I'm not walking to the corner market for a pack of smokes or hanging out at the bus stop, this is what I do. But, after a while, they wanted to get new perspective on the same question, so I stepped out. But I don't know, maybe I'll get back into it again, that'd be kind of cool. But I gotta start doing something because I've gotten way too comfortable. I mean, I'm way too comfortable. So I'm gonna have to get up in the morning and rather than sitting around until 10 and then taking 2 hours to do an hour's worth of stretches and then walking mermaid for an hour and then being like, it's already 1:30, I might as well go take a nap. I'm gonna have to do a lot better than that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. But like I said, there was a time in my life where options were given to me and I took the hard ones. I mean, I took the ones that I wasn't sure that I would be able to do, you know, and some of them I couldn't, but some of them I did for a while and I knew, okay, I can do this. Okay, if I can do this, what else can I do? Can I be the whole A team? You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I used to watch the A team and they'd get trapped in a warehouse and then somebody would bust out, like they'd find all this shit and they'd find some old truck and, BA would fix it because he was the mechanic and then they'd start welding on it and they'd start drilling on it and then, bolting guns on it, and then they drive out of that warehouse and free to freedom, guns blaring. And that was the 18, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't stop them, you couldn't put them down. So, at a certain point in my life, I was all, well, if I can do this, what else can I do? At the end of my life, what will I be capable of doing? Um, if I try things that I'm not even sure I know how to do. Don't, I didn't, but I've never sat on a bull trying to go the full 6 seconds, you know what I'm saying? So there are certain things I've said no to, but there are a couple of things that I thought, I don't know if I can do that, but if it was offered, I'd take it. And like I said, that was the thing with the kid from Santa Cruz. I was telling him, hey, if anybody ever offers you a trip to Santa Cruz, take it. You'll dig it, bro. I did when I went. I thought it was fucking, if I ever won the lottery, Santa Cruz might be a place I would think about going to be honest. You know what I'm saying? It's chill, particularly if you love uh, big redwood trees. I mean, like I said, I was on the university, and there was a part of it. I mean, they weren't all around, but it was like, there was a part of it where there was this clearing, and the kids were had some they had some like weird medieval congress at midnight under the full moon. Like, we just were there. We were hanging because we found this spot, and my partner's all, hey, let's just chill here and smoke a little herb. You know what I'm saying? It looks like a chill spot, and I was like, all right, yeah, And then that we were in their spot, bro, and they showed up, and they didn't even care, and they were wearing robes, and they had crosses and staves and chalices, and far, 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 far whilst thou hast thou far from far whilst hast thou come. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it was pretty tight, bro. I was having a good time. And they didn't mind that we were there. And at one point, the wine started getting passed around. But I was like, no, bro, I'm smoking. If I mix herb and wine, I'm going to turn into Jimi Hendrix at your little acoustic party. You know what I'm saying? So, the continual evolution of the East Coast beat. I heard the other day that maybe the one thing that we're the most afraid of doesn't happen. The thing we're most afraid of will never happen if it gives you enough fear to keep working against it. It's not until you give up or give in, or you know what I'm saying, or taken over, that you fall to your fears. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for what I have. You know what I'm saying? But as I say in my prayers, may it be better next year. You know what I'm saying? I can only ask. And this is the continual evolution of the East Coast beat. We will not be denied.